Hi, I'm Corey Walmsley. I'm CEO of Aurora Borealis Publishing, as well as an author of 9 books, a book coach, and an editor. And today we're going to be talking about how you can keep your book relevant. So let's say you published a book a year ago. When you published your book, you were probably very excited about it, right? Everybody gets excited about a new book. And that makes it super easy to be able to talk about it. Hey, I'm putting out a book. Hi, my book's available. I'm so excited that we're climbing the charts on Amazon. I'm so excited that we just dropped this book. You can talk about so much around the book launch. Maybe you're having a live event. Maybe you're having some sort of a giveaway. Maybe you're doing some sort of a Q&A online near the time of your launch. All of the things leading up to launch are getting people excited for that. And that's great. It gives you a lot of stuff to talk about online. You can talk about the cover. You can talk about the people you worked with. You can thank people. You can say, I was inspired by so-and-so. So many things, right? But after that initial launch, what do you do? One of the things that I suggest is to go through the calendar and see what kind of special days or months or celebrations, whatever it is, are coming up. See what's related to your book that you can post a message talking about that topic, and then also bring up your book. One of the really good ones that I saw was from my authors of For She Who Grieves. Now, this is a book that it basically feels like you talking with like your best friend and being comforted and being heard and being understood, talking about your grief, how it feels, where it sits in your body, how you're shifting it, what you're doing with it. It's less about the actual thing that happened that caused the grief and more about the journey afterward, because the subtitle is for She Who Grieves, and then it's toward living in hope. So they're trying to help people live with hope, because hope is something you have to be able to keep pushing through, even if you are living with grief. So one of the posts that they did recently was talking about National Widows Day, or another holiday that's really similar. And when I saw this post, it was so well done, because they didn't just say, hey, you're a widow, you want to buy my book? Because that's kind of gross. And we don't want to do things like that. We don't want to turn off our audience. We want to connect with them, and we want them to feel heard. So the way they did it was to talk about, today's National Widows Day, and these are some things you may be feeling. This is how it may show up in your life. My heart goes out to you. Do all the things that show that you understand, that you hear them, you feel what they're going through. This could be a tough topic. So for them to be able to do this, I thought it was just brilliant. And then mentioning the book, this is something that, somebody in our book talked a little bit about this, or, if it's not talked about directly in your book, you can say, something I talked about in chapter 3 was this, and then discuss how that applies to the situation. The way my authors handled that was just beautiful. And I want to bring this up too, because I know sometimes we can feel like, oh, is it okay to be doing that? Like, that feels a little bit icky. It feels like I'm being opportunistic. Those are the people that need you. They need to be heard. They need to feel like someone gets them. So it's not opportunistic. It's saying, I've created this to help you, and I want you to know that it's available. Because if they don't know it's available, they won't go get your book, and they won't get the help that they might need. So think of it in that direction. That way you don't get that icky feeling like, oh my God, I'm just reaching out and being like, hey, I heard you're a widow, because that feels gross. Hey, I heard that this happened. I'm sorry that happened to you. I understand you're going through some things. This is a tool that might help you. When you think of it that way, it feels a lot better. And it's okay. It's okay to say, this happened, here's a tool to help you. Go through the calendar and see what holidays are coming up. I've worked with people who've been on like a breast cancer journey. Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October. So talking about that is okay. Also, Domestic Violence Month is in October. So my clients who've worked with, who've experienced domestic violence, or who've had that in their lives in some way, they always post stuff about their book in in Domestic Violence Month, because it's an awareness thing. It's something that we need to be getting out there. We need people to not only know that this thing happens, but that there is also a tool to help you get through it, to help you, overcome, to help you achieve, to help you wade through all the mud, to help you get through your challenges. So make sure that you're checking for certain things that make your book relevant. Just another example, kindness. We've done several books that kind of focus on kindness or have kindness as a theme. There was a kindness month or a kindness week in November of last year. So we actually did a kindness summit, like a coffee and kindness sort of thing. Wake up and grab a cup of coffee and have some kindness. Things like that are unique ways of talking about your book. They're unique ways of getting out there. And they are also other ways besides just being like, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, of connecting with your audience and letting people know, yes, this book exists, but also I'm acknowledging what you are going through as an audience. So make sure that you're doing that sort of thing for your book. That way it stays relevant. You can talk about it throughout the year, and people are getting the help that they need.